Hello and welcome to Factorio. I'm Par, and today I'll continue playing Seablock. The goal for today is to redesign this block. So in the previous episode we redesigned this one. It is supposed to be working, though we haven't actually seen that because we are a little bit short on hybrid catalysts. As in we have close to 0 in the stations. And what we want to do today, we want to kind of clear this part, and well, we want to replace this block basically with a very similar thing, but instead of gold we'll have it for titanium. What are the actual differences between gold and titanium? We have like a couple of intermediate processes here, but apart from that everything seems to be straightforward, and it's mostly on the, it's actually exclusively on the ingot side. And if you look here, we have lots of space to do some stuff with ingots. So let's do that. Let's maybe start by changing the recipes. Right, one thing is that I want to rename the station. It's not just plates in. It's kind of like plates. Because the thing we're also exporting the ore, right? So this is a better name for the station, and we'll fix the station later. Here, a better name would be something that has gold icon as well, like ore icon. So that is a better name, and here we'll also fix it. Okay. Let's do it. Let's add gold or iron icon. Nice. What do we actually need to produce titanium? We need saphirite, cretinium, rubite. Let's do this. Let's do this. Saphirite, cretinium, rubite, and I guess hybrid catalysts. We want 200 of this. We want 200 of this. Did I rename it? Yes, I did rename it. And we want 200 of this. We also want, in a way, that we want to get bottled chlorine gas. Let's get it. Chlorine. Here we have it. Bottled chlorine gas. Good. Now, what's next? We want to probably have very similar setup here of the stuff. Let's just copy it, to be honest. Just want to copy it. I will delete this part, maybe delete this one a bit, and we'll just paste it. Just like this. Nice. And with that, I believe this buildings are not doing anything, and we can kind of connect them. So one thing, oh wait, I didn't expect this to happen. You know what, I will delete them and I will place them here. I feel this might be better, and I might actually do exactly the same thing with these ones. I don't know. Kinda want all of this gone, just in case, because I don't want to have like any leftovers. So I just wanted to, I'll just delete all of that, and then I will paste a fresh one here. Alright. Some bolt is in the way. It's this one. Let's try again. Have a clean copy. Okay, clean copy. It's with gold, but it's okay. We'll switch it later. This part we don't really need to have a limit here. At this point, we just want all of this to be delivered there. I want to landfill this spot. And I want all of this gone, to be honest. We need, looks like we need both charcoal and regular, sorry, we need carbon and regular charcoal, it seems. Let's actually delete this whole thing. We'll delete all of that. We'll delete this spot as well. Just this one. Okay, robots are very, very busy, and this thing should get reconnected relatively soon. And we will not have any extra things on the belts, because that would kind of be bad. I'm surprised it's still not working. You know what? Let me remove this thing for now, because I don't want hybrid catalysts to come here before they go to gold. I really want to start gold block first today, because it was like, you know, the first one that we created. Right, platinum, okay, sapphirite, platinum, rubite, hybrid catalysts. So the only difference is that instead of having what? Instead of having I'm not sure I set the correct recipes, to be honest. Then we need sapphirite, cretinium, rubite. No, it seems to be correct. You just need some cretinium, right? So this thing should become cretinium. And will it just work? I guess it's as simple as that. Right, let's copy this spot, and we really want to have a simple copy. Copying it, and we'll place it right here, like this. Nice. We will switch it to produce titanium plates. And now, what we'll need? We'll need to get the ore. I'm assuming like this. Let's say the ore will come like this. And we'll need to figure out something better over here. Right. Let's see. Let's see what we need now. We are trying to get 54 of gold, and here we want to get, I assume, 54 of titanium. Right, the thing with... Okay, so this is a bit interesting. Let's completely change the spot, because I don't really like it. So let's say that we want to get this stuff from nickel, I guess, because manganese, I want to use manganese on aluminium. I'm actually using manganese for aluminium. Aluminium. This one. I want this one. I want this process. 3,000. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, let's slowly get there, because I really want it. I really want that process. So let's say we are spending manganese on aluminium plates. We need lots of them. Titanium plates seem to be needed in lower quantities, and I'll be using nickel on this. So let's say that For titanium, I will actually ask also for nickel ingots. Are we exporting ingots? We are exporting ingots. That is great. So we'll be asking for nickel as well. And we can have a place here to get some nickel. Let's do this. So if we go with this process, okay, this is the third process. We need one red belt of nickel. And this should be enough, right? One red belt of nickel is enough for us. Let's remember that. If for some reason we don't have enough nickel, should I even assume that we might be short on nickel? No, I will not assume that we are short on nickel. If you don't have enough nickel, we will scale nickel. I'm not gonna have a fallback process for titanium. Titanium will rely on nickel. It might fall back on manganese actually. That wouldn't be that bad, would it? Let's see. If we were to use manganese, it's the same ratio, right? So I wouldn't mind it like falling back on manganese, or maybe I would mind. So the best usage for manganese is aluminium. Second best usage is actually titanium, but only in case we don't have enough nickel. No, wait. Nickel is tier 2. Let's take a look. Let's look at this thing. Nickel is tier 2. It requires saphirite and rubite. Titanium requires saphirite, rubite, and cretinium. Manganese is produced through this process. It requires crushed ferrous mixture. Crushed ferrous mixture requires saphirite, rubite, and givelite. So, whatever we do, titanium requires saphirite and rubite. The only thing I'm doing by switching dependency on nickel here is I'm reducing the the crystal requirements of saphirite and rubite, and reducing requirement on cretinium, which is huge, because cretinium is needed for aluminium as well. Right, cretinium is needed for aluminium as well. So saphirite and rubite crystals, what do they actually require? Let's take a look. Rubite requires this nitric acid, which is good, right? Because we want to have excess of these things produced. Because what we normally get here is not enough to power this part. So this is, I mean, we have a fallback for nitric acid. Where is our nitric acid? This one, right? We have a fallback with like catalysts and whatnot. This process is, I guess, somehow works. So it's never stalled, but this process is more efficient. So rubite, and another thing we need is saphirite that is consuming sulfuric acid. And yeah, we probably don't want to consume it. We probably want to export sulfur instead, right? So, yep, I'm gonna be using here only. Okay, first of all, this is titanium. And I will be using only nickel for this one. Let's just remove this part completely. We'll figure this later. So this one is also nickel. Now, what we need to do, we need to take a couple of this. There's a couple of induction furnaces, and we want to place them here. So we want to have one here, here and here. Do we have a similar process somewhere? Maybe this one? Would I just grab this thing? I kinda want to. Okay, it's not looking great, but it will get the job done. Like this. Okay, let's see. So we have the stuff connected, we are feeding things here. We are actually letting it pass through. Interesting. And the thing is, I don't want to have the balancers here. Like we already discussed it. I don't want the balancers. Yeah, I just want these things to kind of run in parallel to each other. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to place it here. The outer ones will be the actual stuff that we care about, and the inner ones will be... Can I make this part a little bit better? I don't like this. I don't like how it looks, so let's delete it. Move this one to the side, this one to the side, and this one to the side. And then we'll have something like this. Something like this. Okay, nice. And it should work. This part will work, and we'll be able to get 2 belts of nickel, right? We are getting nickel ingots here. And we'll get the same thing here. Or maybe even here. Because this way... Right. This way it will look really great. It will work like this. So we have both of them coming here. Nice. I feel like this part needs to be moved down by 1 tile. We can do that. That's not hard, right? We'll move it down by 1 tile. And this is supposed to be this process. Molten titanium. Well, I guess for now, molten titanium 1. But we actually want it to be like the second one, once we have it researched. Until then, this will do. Now, with this out of the way, we need to produce some titanium ingots, and we don't have this process with limestone. How does it work actually? We need some technology with titanium, right? Titanium. I guess it's this one. Or not. Okay, I guess it will take a while before we learn how to use nickel for this. But that is okay. It is okay. We can still actually request some nickel. You know what? Let's do this. Let's request some nickel. We'll request it here. And the reason we'll do it, nickel ingots, we'll do it in order to consume a bunch of nickel from gold. Because I believe we still have some nickel here. Yep. And with that change, it should force nickel production to take this nickel and make nickel ore, and it will basically be used for a good purpose. Right. Let's get back to this one. We don't have this process, so we have to produce some titanium here right now. Wait. I don't want to be in this block, I want it to be in the separate block. Here. We need to produce some titanium. And we need this thing. Looks like 3, 2. Okay, interesting ratio. really interesting ratio. Titanium tetrachloride. Need 27. We actually don't need as much titanium production as we built it here. Oh wait, it's okay. We'll use some of it on nitinol later, right? Because we also have a nitinol thing coming up at some point, right? Where is nitinol? We cannot produce it yet, but we'll have it, and we might be able to smelt maybe a little bit here, and we will have. Okay, so we don't have enough space for one more belt with nitinol. So how about I take all of this and move it away by one tile, so that we are actually able to deliver some nitinol there at some point in the future. And yeah, we'll figure everything else out. Right. 9. We need 9, and we need 47 from a bottle. We can get it easily, just one thing. Right, let's figure this part out. We need 6.8 carbon. How do we get it? 6.8. Actually interesting, we could use sodium hydroxide for this. Oh, this is a really interesting idea. Oh, maybe for later. Maybe once we'll be like rebuilding it with beacons. So the idea is that we can actually consume sodium hydroxide that is normally produced when we are getting chlorine. So in theory, this build could be consume its own sodium hydroxide, which would be quite good, to be honest. It would be really good, except like the problem here is that we don't have a good way of producing saline water, right? Actually, it's not even that bad. Why are we importing chlorine here? Why are we importing chlorine? So we would be a bit short. No, we would have extra sodium hydroxide. Actually have extra. A tiny bit of extra. And for gold, what was the problem with gold? The problem with gold was that... Wait, what's going on? We need 135, so we needed much more because we are like producing pure gold. But then we'll need to deal with sodium carbonate somehow. Okay, let's not do this. Let's do it with known processes that we are familiar with. Right, something like this. Actually, it tells me that the previous ratios were kind of correct. Right, we needed 1 boiler 2. Actually, 2 boilers to 2 chemical plants. Let's do this. No, we'll build it later. Let's figure out this part first. So we have carbon coming, we have titanium. We actually need only 1 belt of titanium, so let's... Should we do it? Yeah, let's merge this thing. Let's merge it into a single belt. And we'll send it... Should we send it over there? No. We will not be doing it. Never mind what I said. Never mind what I said. I'm just saying some questionable things. Let's build the spot. We need 9 of this. It's basically 3 to 2. Okay, it's almost 3 to 2 to 1. Can I make it a bit nicer? I don't think we can. let's say we have 3 of this. 1, 2, 3. We want to have 2, but let's say we cannot have 2. Let's say we'll have. Actually, we don't even have to make them like really aligned, right? We could just, let's say we could have like 9 here, right? 9. Looking good. Now we just build 7 here. Kind of like this. And then we'll build 3 here. Can we actually build 3 here? Yes. 1, 2, 3. Something like this. And I feel like it should work. Right? Look at this. This is not that bad. Because I feel like it's not that bad. It's looking pretty good to me. Okay. And now what we need to feed them some stuff. We need to feed them 3 ore per second. Right? So like 1 stack inserter or regular inserter, whatever, will be more than enough for that. But we also need to feed them some carbon at the same time. So we could also feed them some carbon, let's say here. And how would it look? So we have stuff here, we have carbon here. We don't have space for power poles, unfortunately. I mean, we kind of do. We could have, I guess, power poles here, here, here. I mean, we could have these power poles. And I guess also 1. Let's start with that side first. Okay. Have something like this. We can be getting carbon from here. This one will be just fast inserter. We want to move it probably down by a couple of tiles. Let's see. So it's here 1. Yeah, we want to move it down by 1 tile, maybe a little bit to the left, a little bit more, just so that it looks a bit nicer. Alright. And now... No, that's too much. I want to move it a little bit up, a bit higher. Like this. Alright, and we'll have this thing going like this. Okay, let's actually copy this part. I want to copy it. Nice. Nice. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to have somewhat even usage between them. Okay, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. So it's not exactly even. Guess I'll be using a little bit more from the left belt. But the thing is, it's probably okay. Because we can have the same thing happening right here. Right, we could have exactly the same stuff made down here. Like this. And we'll basically say that here we want stuff to be exported to the right, that should be the priority, here it should be taken from the left as the priority. And this way we will kind of put similar load in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is actually not a similar one. That's wrong. It's not equivalent. We got to do better. We will have here to be like a similar one. Like this. Okay. This is the way. Yep. Let's proceed. What are we doing here? We have carbon coming here. So this line will contain carbon. This one will contain the ore, right? Titanium ore. We'll have some ore coming here. Did we get catalysts? We still don't have catalysts. I'm really surprised. What's going on with catalysts? We have 7.1 thousand. No way. Okay, let's wait. We'll get them at some point. We will get the catalyst at some point. Now, what do we need to do here? We need to feed these things with fuel. And we also need to feed 3 of them. So let's say each one will have 3 inserters. So we'll have 3, 9 inserters in total. That means 3 items per inserter. We can easily use like stack inserter and it should just work. Right, let's say we have hole here. We will have these things placed like this, and I also want to have a belt delivering fuel. We can actually have the belt going like this. Have inserters inserting stuff over there. Let's place it. Have power connections. That is really good. Okay, like this. And the output will be 27 titanium ingots. That's a lot. So from each one we are getting like 9, right? We're getting around 9 from each one, and we want to send them over there. So let's do that. We want to send them over there like this. 1, 2, 3. So we have 1 belt of titanium coming. Like this is kind of the input. 1 belt, and we want to split it evenly into, see, here and right. It's to split titanium evenly. We want to feed it that part some nickel. So nickel will be coming here, and titanium will be here. Except we actually want to send it to the left. We want to let it go through, because we want, like, we are first of all interested in filling the warehouse with the titanium. That's the idea. That is the idea. Right, can we move this a bit? So we have connection here. Let's see. Right, and this way we'll have a full connection. This part needs to be a little bit adjusted, so we want to take stuff from the left, we want to take stuff from the right, and here we want to take it from below, like this. This is how this part is supposed to look like. Okay, almost. Okay, now it should work. We just need to feed it with some charcoal, and this part just needs to be fed with some... I mean, honestly, I might actually add a balancer here, because I'm not sure how this part is going to work, how well it's going to balance everything. And here we want to produce some charcoal. Not charcoal, carbon. We want to have carbon production. Let's do this. So let's say this is our charcoal, and it will actually be sent out. It will be sent over there, and then we have yellow belts here. It's fine. It's totally fine to have yellow belts for that. We need to produce some carbon, and we already looked into this. We basically need this thing. We need to have this part that kind of gets, I guess, some steam from here. I mean, this is looking kind of interesting. I don't think I ever had such builds, right? Because we can have inserter feeding this thing, and we can have... We can actually have stack inserters, but I'm not sure how good they are for this. We could have 2 stack inserters feeding stuff, and we could have like the output carbon. Let's say we'll be using 2 inserters to output stuff. We could have 2 of them. Outputting some materials. So we could have something like this. Right. Take it and basically copy this. We can copy this thing, just flip it a bit. Wait, not like this. I'm confused. We want it to go... We want it to be done a little bit differently. Like this, right? So we'll take it from here and we'll place it there. We have a water connection, and we have a water pipe here. This is an interesting one. I never had such build for charcoal, to be honest, but it should work. I feel like it should work just fine. But we might need to extend this thing a little bit, but it's just gonna work. Here we have it. So this part, copy it, flip it, rotate it. Wait. Like this. Now, flip it. Like this. We want it to look like this. Right. And this should be our charcoal, I believe. It should just work. Let's see, if it works, I really like this build for charcoal. And it fits kind of nicely with this design. And we can even give 2 power poles this build. So it's even better. So good. It is even better. Okay, I had a small interruption. Let's see, where did we stop? Like, what was going on? We were generating a lot of charcoal. Oh, sorry, carbon. We wanted to produce lots of carbon, and we are still waiting on the catalysts. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that it takes forever to get our catalysts. Let's try to speed up the process a little bit. So we have 7.8 thousandths of catalysts. Why is this thing shot on crystal seedling? Right, because we actually needed 2 of this, ideally. Can we have better filtration unit? Can we have a better filtration unit? I mean, it's kind of working non-stop. No, it's not. You know, this will not really fix the problem. The problem is that we have too high threshold. And okay, what is going on? We are delivering them to the 150, right? That was the limit, or was it 100? I forgot. Let's take a look at this one. Here we had 100. So we better keep this one limited to 100 as well. And I actually want to also request the stuff, like the catalysts here, to the titanium build. Because I have, like, turns out it's a little bit more complicated than the gold one. So let's also do the same trick for other blocks. For example, this one. We have, how many? We have 4.2 thousandths. So we can say that if it's more than 2 thousandths, we are fine with providing the materials into the network. Let's wait a bit. Okay, the delivery is coming. It's kind of a bit hard to tell which exactly is coming. And it hasn't finished yet. I mean, I honestly don't even know what kind of stuff is being delivered here. Let's wait a bit, because I would expect the catalysts to be taken. I'd expect them to be taken over here, unless they come to gold. So, by the way, gold seems to be working fine. You can kind of see it. I'll enable it later. But one of the problems is that, yeah, we're getting even more of it. Okay, that's a bit set. Let's change it back to 100. Let's try to improve the situation somehow. Let's say we want this one to have a limit of 10. I mean, if it doesn't work, I just give priority to titanium, to be honest. I just have a feeling that we could trick the LTN into generating delivery. Right, and here it is. Look at this. We are delivering some catalysts. Exactly what we wanted. This one. We'll go to titanium. So we can change it back to 100. This one's... I mean, it's really hard to understand. Okay, this is going to titanium as well. Okay, this is nice. So we have some catalysts available, and with time the situation will be better, right? Once we have a stockpile of them, then it should really be better. Right, we are getting it, and we should have titanium produced. Look at this. We have basically pure titanium. We don't need this one, I think. I don't think we do. And we might want to have a connection. So in order to ensure the connection, let's do it like this. So this stuff is missing. It's missing a pretty important component. We do not have hydrogen. Not hydrogen, we don't have chlorine. Let's produce it. How are we gonna produce chlorine? Well, first of all, how are we gonna export excess of it? Not excess, how are we gonna deal with the barrels? We'll just, or canisters or whatever those are. We will just send them there. Let's get nickel. Yes, we need nickel there. And here, I just need to have a barreling station. Let's place the barreling station, barreling pump, like this. We might even have it here. We might have a recipe here. I find it really like significantly easier to do it like this. And let's place these things. And here we have it. So, first of all, we have a lot of carbon. Everything's working. We have a lot of titanium ore. The ore, actually, the ore is needed. We do not... Wait, this is a mistake. We do not care about the ingots for titanium and for gold, for that matter. We do not care about the ingots. We care about the ore. That's the important part. We need the ore. And how can we get some ore? Okay, that's not exactly what I had in mind initially, but it is gonna work, so that's fine. We'll basically get some ore right in the middle, right? That's what we'll do. We'll get gold ore here. We will have a balancer here, and before that we'll just move some of it over there, just like this. So we have the ore, gold ore, loaded there. Actually, a lot of ore will come here. We can, I feel, enable these things. It will work. And for titanium, we kind of have the same problem, except it's easier to solve because we left one row here. And what you can do, you can just wait like this. You can get it like this. Just move some of the things here and I guess this could be our titanium plates. And this could be the ore. This is titanium ore. And we need just a tiny bit of it. Like the actual consumption will be pretty low, so whatever we do here, it will work fine. And we can actually send all the extra titanium right there. That's it. We need to give it some power. Maybe power and some lights. Lights also. Good. 1, 2, 3. So we have some lights here. Here it's a little bit harder. Stitching the lights is a little bit worse, but it's not that bad. And we'll have lights here. Alright, let's observe. Is this gonna work or not? I hope it will work. I really do. I hope it's gonna work fine. This part is not used yet, but it will be used in the future. And nitinol, I'm not sure what we'll be doing with nitinol. We could try to do something here and maybe feed it somehow, like through these lines. Maybe we could change this one and give the ore from the side. We'll figure something out once we actually get to the nitinol. Look at this. We started extracting chlorine gas from the bottles, or whatever we're using this from the bottles. We are consuming titanium ore. We are producing titanium sponge. And we are sending it here to be smelted. Smelting is not very efficient yet. It's not really efficient at this point, but and we don't need prioritization here. Just don't care about it, and we don't care about these priorities. Alright, look at this. We have titanium, we have the plates, we have correct limits everywhere, or at least they seem to be correct to me. And what this means is that we can actually fix and start using proper... We can start using proper conditions here. One, we can have the same ones here. No, we can't have the same ones. And we also can't have the same ones here. Let's change this a little bit. So I want this to have huge provider priority, and I want this to work with just one stack of items. And the reason for that, I want to get rid of all these extra materials that are present here. So I want them to be collected. Kind of similar to what we tried to do here, except we kind of not exactly failed, but if you look at Gold Station, we still have some aluminium, we still have some nickel here. Yeah, so it's not in the greatest states now. It's okay. It's okay. The things are working. We have gold block actually producing gold, and even gold ore. or it will be producing it, exporting it as soon as this connection is finished. And we have the same thing happening here. We are exporting titanium, or we're exporting titanium plates. Right. And one half of it seems to be working much better than the other because I forgot to change the recipes. Let's look at this one. It's correct recipes. This one also has correct recipes, and we have much more ores here. This is looking pretty good, and I really like that this build seems to be working. I don't believe I ever built anything like this. I mean, I probably have, but I don't remember. I finished Seablock in 0.17, and so far I can kind of see like lots of similarities. I don't actually see like huge differences. Maybe the main difference is the nerf to the trees, because back then, like these builds were like OP, they were overpowered. Like trees were really strong back then. But now it's not like we're actually using or relying on it a lot. And we are not relying on trees for power, for example, right? We're using fuel power all over basically the base. So it is that thing. Right, let's see. It's working. Did I fix these conditions? Export 100 stacks. Export 100 stacks. Looking good. And we have less than 1,000. And here we have how much? We have 2,500. So at some point we should get a lot of catalysts available. Oh, look at this. Titanium is going somewhere. And I guess gold is also going somewhere. You know what we could do? We could double check whether our blue circuit production is requesting the right amounts. Because now that we have fixed gold and titanium production, we can actually make sure that all of these numbers are correct. So this seems to be correct. 200 everywhere. The output is supposed to be 50,000. Okay, this is looking good. Here we're supposed to give full trains. Wait, what's going on here? Wait. Why is that? Okay, that's really strange thing that's happening. We're saying that we want 110 barrels. Do we have another thing? Why are we requesting? Why do we want to get 110 barrels when we don't actually have barrels here? No, we normally should have barrels. This thing is called circuits gold. So let's search for circuits gold out. Wait, this out. Circuits. Okay, this train is supposed to get 106 and 110. Circuits out. I don't see circuits out anywhere. I don't actually see barrels being delivered from here. I don't know what exactly happened here. I'm not sure what happened. Let's say that's good enough. I don't understand what happened. Why the chain came with incorrect request for delivery? It's very confusing. I'm really confused by that. I don't. It shouldn't be possible. Like what happened here? Very strange. Anyway, this seems to be correctly set up. And this one, let's double check on this one. We are asking 100 stacks, that's correct amount, and have request stack threshold 50. Okay, it's fine. The output here 50,000, and we will be returning if we have at least one stack. So if we have at least one stack, we'll be expert on those because we are really short on all these things. We are short actually on titanium here, which is very surprising because I thought that we have enough titanium in the main base. Yeah, I thought we have enough. We have 1,000 and we're requesting how much? We're requesting 4,000 and we have 2,000 here, so it seems to me that everything is fine, except we are still a little bit short on titanium. And another tiny problem that we have is that, well, it's not a problem, but we have lower provider threshold on the, okay, what is not working here? What's the issue? Don't get enough of this because we don't have enough chlorine gas. Why we don't have enough chlorine gas? Oh, because we cannot export this thing. Okay, that's a problem. That is actually a problem. A real one. Right, and we have really kind of bad conditions here and here. Well, not conditions, but we are using just one stack as a provider threshold. Okay, this thing is collecting some bottles. Okay, this worked fine. Bottles were collected. We have lots of gold ore. We have good numbers, good amounts of gold plates. I just want to double check that everything is working correctly here. And once we fill up these warehouses with gold ore, we will be able to produce even more gold plates, or we'll be producing them even faster, I believe, because we will not be losing a quarter of our ore on this thing. Right, and here we started getting lots of bottles. Can you actually tell whether this thing is struggling? No, it's not struggling. It's working just fine. Okay, we're collecting gas bottles, and we are also collecting gas bottles. Let's take a look. We have a lot of titanium ore and not enough of plates, but that's okay. That is okay. This build will produce lots of them, and this part will just work. Let's move towards the dashboard and let's see. What are the problems? The iron is the problem. The hybrid catalysts are a problem. Ammonium is a problem. We have lots of issues, and we have a shortage of blue signs. I don't even know why. I guess because of iron, because of aluminium. There are lots of reasons why we could be short on blue signs. Right. Actually, we seem to be producing lots of blue signs now. Yeah, let's take a look. Okay, blue signs, it's what? It's, how is it called? Blue signs is called atomic manipulator. We have Atmos set and electromagnet. So let's say, let's set all of this. Let's say Atmos, this one, manipulator, and magnet. And let's take a look at the graphs. How does it look? So we're able to produce almost like 300 of this, but we cannot really produce 300 of blue signs. We're like never quite there. Well, we are able to produce exactly 300. What's the name? Manipulator. Manipulator. It's not even exact. It's like we're having some issues with blue signs production, and I'm not even sure what those issues are exactly. I guess it could be copper. It could be short on copper, but you know, it's okay. Even if you don't get like five blue signs per second, it's still a good amount. It's still a good amount. We're still getting lots of things produced. The gold is waiting for catalysts. This stuff is waiting for catalysts. Everything looks pretty good. We'll have 26,000 of titanium ore really soon, and that will be nice. Right, this is our base. We fixed titanium and gold. In the next episode, I want to produce cobalt and to... Do we need to consume lots of cobalt? No, I don't believe we have a lot of cobalt ore, but if we do, we'll request all of it here. So that's basically our next plan, to build this block. So plan for the next episode is to build this block with cobalt steel production, and after that I don't know what we'll need to do. We'll probably have to look towards maybe separating power from here, and maybe we'll need to do something with the power. Maybe we'll remove uranium from here, and maybe we'll have a lot of uranium related production in these 4 blocks. I think I like that idea. But first we need to solve these shortages of the ores, and for that I feel like we just need to copy these builds here. We'll be able to do lots of stuff once we have it. It will be like, it will increase our ore production by around 50%, right? Because now we have 4 plus to here 5. No, wait. 4 plus basically 4, because they have approximately the same space to throughput efficiency. So from 8 we will go to 11. It's like plus 40-45%. This will be significant, and it's not that hard to get, right? With just a little bit of land filling, and it should work. Good. Okay. One thing that I want to do. Where did we construct something in the past? We constructed something here, right? Do we have robots? Okay, we still have construction robots here. I'm not sure whether this thing is working correctly. Robot replacer provider. Replacer provider chest. I'm not sure I understand how it's supposed to work. How are we supposed to use this thing? Maybe. So it's still a provider, right? It seems to still be a provider. You know what? I think I know. I think we are supposed to go here, where we are producing robots. I think I'm supposed to say that this is a replacer provider and this is the replacer provider. I think that's the way this is intended to be used. And now, once they are placed here, then maybe it will actually work and it will start replacing the robots. So we have lots of logistic robots and construction robots in the network, and we are requesting them here and here. Okay, let's see whether it helps or not. Oh, interesting. Did it just fly? I feel like this is working the way it's supposed to work, but I'm not fully sure, to be honest. Okay, let's stop here. Thanks everyone for watching. This was episode 124, and we finished titanium sorting and even tested and checked that it's working correct. Thank you, and I'll see you later. Cheers!